Hello people YouTube, this is RKB3813 here with a video on bolt action firearms. My opinions on their pros and cons, obviously, and just their uses. Why would you want to own one? Why are they a good investment? I've got a couple here for examples. As you just saw, that Mosin Nagant, which from what I've seen is kind of your most popular Army surplus rifle, military surplus rifle. It's Russian. I don't think our Army I don't think our military has ever used it, but it's been in the hands of just about everybody else. And another one I have here for an example, for just something to show you, is this Mossberg 20 gauge bolt action too. I wanted to have a shotgun and a rifle, or shotgun and a rifle, to just to have a couple examples. Obviously, there's no one behind the camera. It's on a tripod, so I don't mind doing that. But I just wanted to cover their pros and cons. As we all know, I'm going to talk about durability and reliability first, but as we all know, a single shot, either break action, falling block, trapdoor, whatever, a single shot has the least number of parts, moving parts, and they're the most reliable firearms you can buy, and I'm not going to say they're not, because they are. I mean, I'm agreeing with that statement. But next in line is the bolt action, and it's a repeating action. And in my opinion, a lot of times they can be almost as, if not just as reliable as a single shot break action or whatever. So I think a bolt action is a good option if you want something cheap, reliable, and something with a follow-up shot. Obviously, you're not going to get as fast of a follow-up shot as with a pump or whatever, but as you just saw, you can get them pretty quick. From my shoulder, that's how fast you can get a follow-up shot, and that's pretty quick. And usually a follow-up shot, especially with a rifle like this, if you're shooting deer or whatever, a follow-up shot is usually, if any, not going to be that fast. Is not going to be needed to be that fast. Now, shotguns, however, are another story. It's said in one of my books that when it comes to bolt-action shotguns, for fast handling on small game and birds, they're bottom of the list. Which, in my opinion, no, they're not. Single shots are at the bottom of the list. But these are next to them, though. But, again, this is a lot lighter than this. This thing weighs about 10 pounds. The Mosin Nagant weighs about 10 pounds. Whereas this weighs just under 7. I think this weighs in about 6.5 pounds. But it's a very lightweight gun. And to recock it, I don't know if you can see this, on your shoulder, you can get it pretty quick. But for slow-moving birds like geese and long range at pheasants, I mean pheasants, and of course, think about it, the further out something gets, the slower it's going to be moving. And with a full choke on the end of this gun, it's more of a long-range bird gun if you're going to use it for birds. So you're going to have more time to rack another shell in. But like I said, they're cheap and strong, and you got a follow-up shot. In my opinion, if you're looking for a repeating shotgun on a budget, it's hard to beat a bolt action. They're not as easy to find as pump actions, obviously, but they are much less expensive when you can find them. You can get them for between $100 and $200, depending on how good of condition it's in, and what are the features on it. Some of them have poly chokes, and those are quite a bit more expensive than the ones with just fixed chokes. But they do not manufacture smooth bore bolt action shotguns anymore, so you're gonna have to find them used, which there's no big deal about that. But back to the rifle. I killed my first deer with this. Obviously, I used the legal hunting ammunition and everything. You can't use full metal jackets in the state of Tennessee, which is a good law, a very good law, because full metal jackets just keep going, whereas your soft point, if it keeps going, which sometimes it will if it's close range, but it slows down a lot because it mushrooms. But like I said, I haven't figured out how to remove the bolt in that yet, but I'll remove the bolt in this. How to remove the bolt in the Mosin Nagant, just open the bolt and pull the trigger and it'll slide right out. But if you look, let me turn that focus on. If you look, there's just a minimal of moving parts in there. And I'm sure, and bolt actions vary, obviously. They differ from each other, but there's not much difference. I mean, this is real close to what's under there. But if you look, I mean, there's just very few moving parts. So obviously you got durability and reliability. Again, something easy to fix if something does go wrong. Since you know how to take out the bolt, you can do that. If you got a toolkit with you, you can do a lot of fixings on it. But I just think if you're on a budget and you want something cheap and strong, you can't beat a bolt-action shotgun. You want something cheap, strong, and with a follow-up shot, you cannot beat a bolt-action shotgun if you want a shotgun. Now, rifles are another story. Bolt-action rifles are obviously going to be more expensive than bolt-action shotguns. However, the Mosin Nagant is a very good option. Ammunition is a little bit harder to find for legal deer hunting. I'm sure all the states don't allow full metal jacket. It's common sense, but when you can find them, it's a lot cheaper than like 30-06 ammunition or whatever. Cross my legs, hit to starting to fall asleep. And the Mosin Nagants you can pick up from a pawn shop, or a lot of times you can find them off people. You could get them for $150. Again, they're cheap. The reason you can get them so cheap, because they're not cheap, they're not crap. But the reason you can get them so cheap, they made like millions of these for the Army, for the military. So you know, there's millions of them out there, and they're just easy to come by. Again, you cannot beat a bolt-action rifle or shotgun as far as durability. If you want a follow-up shot, now obviously you can beat it with durability with a single shot. But again, if you want a follow-up shot, these are faster than single shots. But if you look at a pump, if you ever take the trigger assembly out of a pump shotgun or a pump rifle, the first thing you notice is, oh heck, if this thing falls apart, I'm not going to be able to put it back together. Exactly. Whereas I've taken a stock and forehand off this, I had to put these sling studs on. But underneath it, there's basically, like I said, a minimal of moving parts. It's just not a lot that can go wrong versus a pump, or especially an automatic. But again, now obviously you have another good, reliable, repeating shotgun, which is your double barrel, either over, under, or side by side. But the thing with those, they're expensive. Really expensive. So, you know, I just think a bolt action is the greatest repeating action of rifle or shotgun on the face of the earth that I've seen. I just don't think you can get any more reliable than a bolt action if you want a repeating action for a reasonable price. I guess that's it. Please comment, please subscribe, and feel free to leave your opinions, whether they counteract mine or not.